First of all, I'd like to thank my lead co-sponsor, Leader Kearney, for joining me and agreeing to be a sponsor of these 5 bills. We both agreed from the beginning that pension reform was not a partisan issue, and it was extremely important to us to demonstrate that to our colleagues and to people of Ohio, that we can work together on key issues, and so I thank him for his support. I also want to thank the staff that worked on it. Sometimes I feel like the general. You know, we give the credit or the blame, but the work is really being done by a lot of other people. And that includes the staff of the Senate, both the majority and minority staff, but the staffs of the various retirement plans, and various individuals of the plans who came in with ideas and offered suggestions that were incorporated. So I think this is a great day for the Ohio retirees, for any public workers in the state of Ohio, because we have been able to ensure that we could build on the good stewardship that the plans have demonstrated over the years, strengthen the foundation upon which these plans were built, and put them in good position to be successful in the future. Thank you for being here, and again, Leader Kearney, thank you very much. I want to thank the House for the work that they did. I know Dan Ramos was very involved in that, the Retirement Study Council, Keith Faber and Kirk Schuring, and of course Lynn Wachtmann, who's been a champion of reform for a long time. So I'd like to thank all of them, along with Speaker Batchelder, for joining us and making this possible.
Thank you. Speaker.
This is an exciting day for me. When I first came to the House, I was 24, so the older guys naturally put me on the retirement committee. And the gentleman who was in charge of it was later a judge, Judge Cole, and his grandson is now the member here from Hancock County. It's kind of interesting. At that time, we didn't have a commission. We didn't have a way to keep track of what was going on, really. We, of course, relied on the pension systems themselves, and they were very, very helpful to us. But most of the leaders of those pension systems had been through the Depression. And so sometimes they had kind of a cautious view about what we might do about admitting servicemen to the system and so forth. This developments here in recent years, and particularly the decline in investment returns, obviously have created new kinds of problems. And so those are things that we have to maintain a watch on. We're very fortunate that we have the people over at the study commission who do the work that they do, because that's crucial. And it's also important that we have people like Lynn Wachtmann, and Kirk Schuring is amazing. I mean, he just, you know, he doesn't complain, he just keeps keeping on, and I really appreciate his hard work on this. And then my neighbor in Lorraine County, Representative Ramos, made a very significant contribution to the whole thing. As we took the roll calls, I thought it was wonderful, because each of the bills passed unanimously, with the exception of one negative vote against one of the bills, which I will not name. And as a result of that, you could see the cohesion in the House of Representatives, and I know you had the same in the Senate, the cohesion among people who wanted to do the right thing for those who were already retired, as well as those who would retire. And Ohio is quite different from other states that right now are facing tremendous, dramatic problems. They had a one-day meeting over in Illinois, and the two caucuses broke out into a lot of fun where they were punching one another and so forth, and that's Illinois. And end of the day, they went home, and they didn't do a thing. That's very, very scary for people who have gone into state service, local service, with the idea that this pension would be there for them. And I just think that what went on here in the legislature is a magnificent distinction from what has gone on in many other states across the country. And I thank the members that I mentioned, I thank the governor, and I thank those people who work for the different pension systems and who have really worked hard, made a sacrifice to keep us informed, and brought us to this point today. Thank you all as well.
President Niehaus and I agreed that these would be my remarks right here, so I'll start at page 1. No, I would really like to begin by thanking President Niehaus. He's been absolutely a wonderful person to work with. he and I don't agree on everything, but we're able to work together. And that's really very, very important. And despite what you might read in the media about people not being able to reach agreement or legislators not being able to work together, President Niehaus and I have been able to find a common path, and for that I greatly appreciate your work. I've been hearing about Ohio's pension system for years, and that's because my mother is a retired school teacher. And she would tell me about the concerns that she had. And once I became a member of the Ohio Senate, she said it's time for you to do something rather than just listen. And so I'm thankful again for President Niehaus to allow this opportunity. I'd also like to thank the House for all of their work. It seemed that they were able to find cohesion and find a common path, as I said. Representative Ramos has done an excellent job. He counseled me about some of the issues in the bill, so I greatly appreciate his work and want to thank the Speaker of the House for all that he's done. And then Governor Kasich, thank you very much for signing the bill and for having such a wide audience come to your bill signing.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
I'm going to be relatively brief. I want to thank my friend and Senate President and Eric Kearney for their work on this. You know, we started the Retirement Study Council trying to get a handle on these bills. And as chairman of the Retirement Study Council, we knew that we had problems. The plan stepped up to the dock and produced proposals that kept with the three primary ideas that we all agreed we needed to address. First, they need to be actuarially sound. These plans are actuarially sound. Second, we needed to keep the promises that were made to those people who are retired and the promises to those people who are approaching retirement. And then third, we needed to balance the taxpayers' and public's expectation of what the retirement system should produce as a benefit structure for government employees. Now, nobody will pretend that this is the end-all, be-all, and this is going to be the last solution. But it certainly moves all of the plans towards all of those goals in the most effective way, far more effectively than anybody could have imagined with the level of bipartisan support we've got. And so I think it's relatively remarkable that this was achieved in this environment to satisfy those goals in the way it was. And so I think it took the leadership of President Niehaus and the plans. And I remember sitting in the meetings, President, with the plan leaders and coming in and talking about what the expectations were. And when they produced their plans and were able to get constituency buy-in, frankly, I was a little surprised. And with that, we were able to produce the result that we got. And so with that, I want to thank all of them for their hard work and effort. I don't know if we're going to have all the members of the Retirement Study Council that are here introduced, but I want to also just shout out to those legislators and public members of the Retirement Study Council and ask them just to raise their hands, because I know they're here. A number of them are here. Representative Ramos, Representative Wachtmann, Kirk Schuring, Scott Olslager, Senator Tavares. We also have on there, who am I missing? Seth Morgan, Laura Miller, and then we've got one open position still. So them, along with the staff, do a wonderful job helping to watch over the plans. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you, Governor. I appreciate the invitation. I want to become the second historian here behind Speaker Batchelder, although my memory is not as good as his. But one of the things I do remember about 27 years ago, Mr. Speaker, was you conveying to me that one of the most important obligations and responsibilities we have as a legislature is to make sure that we as legislators oversee the pension systems. And while each of them have their board, the buck stops with us in the legislature, and I've never forgotten that. It's been a privilege for many years to serve in the Ohio Retirement Study Council with a number of my colleagues. I want to thank all the leadership in the Senate for their great work. Speaker, thank you. I know Representative Schuring, my colleague, who really did the walk of the work in the House the last several months, couldn't be here. I want to mention the great job that Kirk Schuring did in bringing the final product to fruition in the House. And so it's good to be here on this great day. I do want to point out that one of the goals I had personally working on legislation was to make sure that the taxpayers of Ohio were not asked to put more money in. I've always told active members and retirees that these pension systems are our pension systems. We bear the responsibility to fix them with our efforts, and that was the fruition of what came out of this effort. So to the taxpayers of Ohio, whether you're in the city or township or whatever political subdivision you're in, school district, you can rest assured at night that we're not going to come asking you for more of your money to solve the pension system's challenges. And I think that's worth noting. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
They've been noted, but I want to thank especially a person who did work for me and then worked for the Speaker, now as chair of the Ohio Retirement Study Council, Bethany Rhodes. Where are you hiding, Bethany? You ever wonder anything about pensions? Call Bethany.
Good afternoon. I am State Representative Dan Ramos from Lorain County. I'd like to thank the governor for extending the invitation to be here. Thank all of the members of the Retirement Study Council, the subcommittees, and frankly the entire House and Senate members, and particularly the staff for the long hours of work in creating these 5 bills. It's an honor to be here to witness the signing of these bills that address the necessary reform for each of Ohio's public pension systems. A true and necessary reform that I'm confident will assure the long-term solvency of each. As with any bill this complex, there are doubtless sections that could have gone one way or the other, but it was good to see that in the culmination of this truly bipartisan and in many ways apolitical process, that every person and every stakeholder that could have had an opinion had an opportunity to bring that opinion forward, and not just have their voices heard, but have their opinions and their suggestions worked into this bill. This is a bill of the systems. This is a bill of the workers and the members of these systems, and that's so important. These bills represent a long-term solution to complex and intricate difficulties that each of these systems have faced since the last economic downturn in 2008. But these pensions, which are earned during a lifetime of service, which has been alluded to, will continue to provide meaningful retirement. It is not just an economic issue, as this will help. This is of particular importance as Ohio continues along the road to economic recovery, but it is a human issue. As the governor stated, we need to make sure that people who work hard and play by the rules and give their life in service to the state get the pensions that they believe in, that they earn. Retirement is a long-term issue, and a long-term solutions is necessary, and we've provided long-term solutions in this bill. They provide a structure in such a way to allow the systems to operate without constant legislative change. The benefits of these bills will continue to be seen over years, not just days or weeks. This is the bill of the people of the systems. Put simply, these bills are not just a step forward, not just a step toward a fix. These bills do fix the 5 retirement systems. They fix by providing the necessary and long-term solvency to these systems.